You know, uh, I got so many ideas on daily basis about that. I have to make a video about that or this topic. But when I sit in front of the camera, I just forget what exactly the topic was I was thinking about. I'm sure you have noticed that there are many glitches in my video, but I don't use teleprompt. I just speak from my heart, from my mind, right in front of the camera. So whatever the information that you're getting from this channel, me talking to you guys, is all coming from here. So nothing is scripted. So I was just, what I start doing now, whenever I get an idea, I start writing in my mobile in notes. So I was just scrolling and see what video I have to make. Today I want to make videos simple, I mean small. You know what, forget it. Because the topic that I have written is, those topics are requires a lot of talking and a lot of post processing, graphics, animation, which I am completely zero. So I thought, okay, that makes life easy for everybody. So today's topic is photo editing. Yeah, which we also called post processing. So what exactly photo editing or post processing is? It's very simple. We take a photo, sorry, my voice. So you take a photo and you use any software like Lightroom, Photoshop, Neo. There are tons. Luminar. And what else from that? Yes, there are hundreds of software. So Lightroom and Darkroom, that's another. Darkroom is another software. So you have those software which you bring into your JPEGs or your RAW files. You enhance, you lift up your shadows, try to suppress your wow, highlights, try to saturate, over saturating a little bit of vibrance or color contrast, whatever. It's up to you. Whatever you taste it. So you post processing those images and then you post it. So the question is that really post processing so much necessary in today's world of photography? Like, can't we live without presets? Can't we live without, you know, editing photos? Like, there is no chance that we can take a photo and directly upload? This in our photography community and across the world, there are group of people who believe that they don't believe on the concept of right from the camera. They just don't believe that concept. There's always a, we have to edit image. We have to edit image, no matter what. And then we have photographers from National Geographic who try to capture everything as close as possible right from the camera. No editing, no heavy cut paste or photoshopping or composite. In photojournalism, it's a sin if you do composite. So you, it's up to you. If you are a photojournalist, you try to take image as close as possible. If you are hobbyist or professional, landscaper especially, a portrait, you very much relying on heavy retouching, skin retouching, freckle removing, and all that. And landscape, of course, lifting shadows, pressing highlights, vibration, color, sharpness, removing, dodging and burning, cloning. Try to make image perfect as possible. And people who used to do that with DSLR, they are up doing the same in even for the images they took from the mobile. Like for them, we have to apply filters for Instagram or even for, website. People believe that if they are not going to edit their images, nobody going to like it. I used to think like that, and there was a time I was so much in editing, but of course my editing is not good. It's really not good. But I tried to make a compelling image. But the more I start doing manual photography, I start enjoying taking photos. I start enjoying taking images right from the camera because it pushes my ability This pushes me to learn real photography. What? Then question again. What is real photography? We'll get back to this line in a minute. So I try to push myself to try to take images, as close as possible what I see. It doesn't mean that I can't do Photoshop or I cannot learn Photoshop. That's why I'm trying to take image right from the camera. Well, this is the thing. If I can push myself so hard to take images right from the camera, which requires minimum editing or no editing at all, I could have done the same for learning Photoshop, but I didn't do that. I didn't go for that way. I went for the pure photography way, like try to take images right from the camera. Now, some of you may say, well, your images are really edited, like especially when it comes to color, and that's true. I do color editing because there is a limitation in the camera. By the way, I try to capture moody landscape or moody images, which brings that feeling of that grabs your attention. Actually, most of the time I shoot landscape with cloudy white balance. Again, I push myself to go for a hard way rather than relying on the post processing. I try to capture everything right from the camera. Why cloudy white balance? Because warm colors, when you switch the outer white balance to cloudy white balance, everything turns red or warm, or the colors become warm. And I try to learn this thing from Joe McNally, that try to capture everything right from the camera, like literally. So I start following his work, that how much perfection he brings into the images while taking the photos, like literally every single tiny bits and pieces. Because taking whatever you try to take images right from the camera, it reduces the load later in post processing. There are many photos I took which are right from the camera, no editing. Yes, camera has the limitation. Camera is a tool which cannot replicate your imagination. It's a tool. It has a limitation from highlights and shadows. The camera never had the dynamic range of human eye. It never had, it never will in near future. Maybe after 50 years or 25 years or 30 years or 75 years, the technology will become so advanced that it will replicate what you exactly see. What kind of dynamic range human eye have, the camera probably going to have in future. So, but not now, not right now. None of the camera have the dynamic range like human eye. So we are relying much on post processing. Like I was saying earlier, that I always try to take image right from the camera. And Joe McNally said to once in one of his videos that warm color attracts human mind. It means that if you have warm colors like red, oranges in your frame, the human mind automatically attracts. It start liking those images. And if you are going to the cooler side like blue or magenta, human mind doesn't attach to those kind of images. So that's why most of the time I switch to warm white balance, cloudy white balance, which immediately makes the sunset more vivid, more cool, more attractive. Which if I would have taken from the white balance, or from not white, from auto white balance, it will become normal image, just like there's nothing you can do about. I probably are going to post some of the images with the auto white balance and with cloudy white balance right in front of you. So you have seen the example that how the auto white balance renders the image and how the warm white balance renders the image. Besides, not only that, I will try to upload some of the images of mine on the screen right now, which I took right from the camera. Like for example, this sunrise shot, which as you can see right now, I took this shot, and it's a sunrise. So you're probably going to say it's a sunrise should be bright. You know why it's dark? First of all, I switched the white balance to cloudy. I start seeing the cloud formation and the sun was rising behind, so I already anticipated the moment that it will become Saturn like thing when I'm going to see, and I should have, and if I'm going to shoot at a normal exposure, I won't be able to capture the cloud formation across the sun. So I should have underexposed the image. So I underexposed the image not by one stop, not by two stop. I underexposed the image by -3 EV. Yes, this image you're seeing right now, this image is taken at -3 EV and is a sunrise shot. Yep, it's a sunrise shot. But I already anticipated that it's going to be like this, and I come up with this imagination that let's imagine a moonrise. It's not a moonrise which will be much more subdued, much more subtle, like it's just like how can I explain this thing? Like you see a bright, planetary object in front of your skin, but it's not bright. So I just try to keep the dynamic range of the foreground with the brightest object in the sky, which is the sun. So that's why I had to shoot underexposed. And this image is right from the camera, no editing. In the end of the video, I will put some of my images which I took right from the camera with zero editing, like literally zero editing. Why? Because I knew my camera dynamic range. I knew what I have to capture. Based on my imagination, I know my camera limits. So I immediately adjusted the setting, white balance, color profile, picture profile, whatever you call it. And I try to take images right from the camera. Now, consider this. Can we do it all the time? For landscape, of course not. You need some kind of editing. For portrait, yes, you can. Again, if the model or the person you're shooting doesn't obsessed, oh, I remove freckles. If the person is not obsessed, you're shooting off, then it's fine. You can do, take the image, post, take the image, post. But of course, models and ladies and girls, they are of course beauty conscious, so by nature is there. So you have to do certain skin retouching and slimming down hair, chin up, you know double chin, completely vanish, stuff like that, and especially reduce from the jawline, make it prominent, the collarbone, all that stuff. You can do that. So yep, for females, you are compelled you to do photo editing, which completely understand. But there are scenarios where you can take a portrait of any person and post it, especially if it's an environmental portrait. Like the person is sitting having a conversation with somebody, and suddenly that person laugh, and you capture that moment. You don't need much editing for those kind of portrait because it carries that emotion, that feeling that that person is enjoying the conversation or enjoying the moment. So that moment doesn't need photo editing. Same goes for photojournalism. Same goes for uh, photojournalism is pure. You don't need editing. You don't need. Try to capture whatever is there. The images, the type of images that you can shoot right from the camera mostly are silhouettes. You just stand in the front of any corner and you just wait. It's like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. time where the sun is casting long shadows. You just stand at the corner or top of the balcony of your house, top floor of your house or home, and you just try to shoot that long shadows. You don't need editing. And same goes for sports action, wildlife. If you are capturing the right moment, you really sometimes don't need editing. Probably cropping, yeah, that's fine. Cropping is, but again, cropping falls into editing. But I still think cropping is not exactly type of course, it's editing, but most of the time we don't have long lenses. Nobody afford 4 or 500 f4, 600 f4. So they are relying on cropping. They are shooting with 70 to 300 or 24, 70 to 200. So they are relying on cropping. So it's fine if they are cropping the image without alteration, is less lights and shadows, highlights and shadows. It's fine. I still give them margin for no editing because not everybody can afford, like I said, 500 or 600. So that's what I think. That's my ideology, my thought process about photo editing. But again, how much photo editing that you do? I know people who do like black and white right from the camera, posted, no editing. Maximum they use Snapseed, which is a mobile application. They take the images from the camera, import in the mobile. They just fine tweak from the mobile and upload from the mobile. They don't rely on MacBooks or laptops or desktops or whatever. So again, it's how you see the world. Actually, it's more like how you want to show the world what you see. Yeah, that's right. How you want to show. People who are editing the image heavily, they basically try to show the world the way they perceive, the way they imagine. So editing is more like imagination. Like it's more like you are showing the world what you what kind of imaginative person you are. Which is good. Which is good. We need artists. I mean, our artist is not complete without his or her imagination. That's for sure. That's for sure. So again, you can take images right from the camera, but camera has a certain limitation. Camera is not perfect. It cannot capture the dynamic range like human eye. Not in today's world. Maybe in next 10 to 15 years, I don't see a camera can replicate human dynamic range, which is equal to human eye. So, but you can take the images, which nearly requires no editing or literally no editing. So, I'm going to wrap up this video on this note that editing is totally subjective. It defines what you are, how you see the world, or how you, not only how you see the world, how you want to show the world what you have seen, what you have imagined. And the more heavy editing is going to be, it's going to show the world that you live in your own world all the time. You are living in your imagination all the time. You are not living in this real life earth. What's happening around? You're not seeing whatever is going on. The photojournalism requires no editing or very less editing because the whole idea of photojournalism, photography is to show what exactly going on. That's why they don't edit. And the people who do heavily edit, they have their own big world of imagination. So as far as I'm concerned, I only play with colors because I found three things which makes any photo good: light, composition, and color. Actually, you know what? That's a very good topic for next video, but I'm going to make it tomorrow. Yep. So I believe on light, composition, and color. So light, composition, we all know. I added color because colors make or break any image, and I will show you how. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys at some other time with new topic, which I already finalized. Actually, you know what? Wait. I have to write it down because I'm sure I will forget tomorrow. So, to no, light, composition, color, video. Done. I know I have to make this video. So, yep, save. So yeah, I'll see you guys next video with the topic that you already know. Till then, take care. Bye.